A big breaking news coming in from the United States, where a small aircraft has crash-landed near Washington's Reagan Airport after it collided with a military helicopter while heading towards the Ronald Reagan National Airport. Now, takeoffs, landings have been halted at the Ronald Reagan National Airport. This is what we're learning. Now, the airport said that the emergency personnel were responding to an aircraft incident on the airfield. No other details were immediately available. However, these are the visuals that you can see on your screen as a small aircraft collided with a military helicopter before crash landing near the Reagan Airport in Washington. Now, the White House has confirmed that it was a commercial airliner that collided with the military helicopter while heading towards the Ronald Reagan National Airport in Washington. A small aircraft has been crash landing near the Washington's Reagan National Airport after it collided with a military helicopter. These are the visuals on your screen, viewers, that you can see as the small aircraft, which is a commercial airliner, confirmed by the White House at this point that the airliner crash landed before colliding with a military helicopter. Viewers, I'd like to bring in my colleague Shivangi, who's joining us live from the newsroom. Shivangi, take us through the crash landing and what other details do we have at this point?
Priyanka, so those pictures are coming in for our viewers, and I just want to tell our viewers that there has been a reaction which has come in from the Vice President of the United States. J.D. Vance has put a post up on X. I'll just read it out for our viewers. Please say a prayer for everyone involved in the mid-air collision near the Reagan Airport this evening. We are monitoring the situation, but for now, let's hope for the best. This is what he is saying. These are pictures also that we're showing for our viewers. So J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, has just tweeted just on a social media post, and he is saying, let's pray for the best circumstance. I also want to take our viewers through exactly what they're seeing on the screens. Once more, an aircraft and a helicopter have collided mid-air in Washington, D.C., and this has forced a lot of takeoffs to be halted. That is right. Like you were saying, Priyanka, the takeoffs have now been halted and landings have been halted at Ronald Reagan National Airport. And we're also coming to know that a PSA airline, Bombardier CRJ 700 jet collided with a helicopter while on approaching the airport. So this is what we are learning right now. And these are pictures also coming in on social media showing the mid-air collision over the Potomac River. So we are tracking the story very closely. And like we told our viewers, there's no word yet on the casualties or the injured as of now. There's no official confirmation coming in. This is a developing story, and we are tracking the story very closely. This is one of the biggest stories that is being tracked globally right now, especially in the United States. Priyanka, I'm handing it back to you. We'll keep an eye on all the reactions coming in and the updates on this collision.
That's right, Shivangi. We're also getting in some updates on the crash, viewers, with the DCA airport now being shut in Washington. Now, landings and takeoffs have been halted for the time being. Meanwhile, the rescue boats have found some of the survivors. Now, do note that the plane which was hit by a helicopter, the military helicopter, was carrying 70 passengers. The plane was carrying 70 passengers. That is what we're learning. In fact, the landing and the takeoffs have been halted as we speak. This is after a small airliner crashed with a military helicopter near Washington's Reagan National Airport. We're learning details that the rescue boat have been able to find some of the survivors, but we do await further details on any of the injured and if there are any casualties. As of now, the information that we have is that in Washington, a small airliner crashed with the military helicopter. Viewers, I'd like to bring in my colleague Shivangi at this point, who's joining us. Shivangi, also help us understand, is there any clarification as to, because the White House has confirmed that it was a commercial airliner, any word on which company it was flying for and any passenger details so far?
That is right. And you know, we are getting these updates coming in right now. And the biggest updates, we were just talking about the numbers. So there are no numbers yet. But like you pointed out, rescue boats have found some survivors. Now, how many survivors? We don't know that. How many survivors? We don't know that. But rescue boats have found some survivors. We're also coming to know that the airport has been shut in Washington. And the plane was hit by the chopper, was carrying 70 passengers. So 70 passengers. Then some survivors have been found. We are also, of course, the investigation is continuing right now because emergency response teams are conducting search and rescue operations on the Potomac River. And this is exactly perhaps where those survivors are found, because rescue boats right now are very active looking for survivors. We're seeing that the National Transportation Safety Board has gathered additional information. And we're seeing American Airlines, who operated the flight, has promised many more updates. So we're waiting for more updates to come in right now. But of course, this is one of the top stories that we're tracking. You can see those pictures coming in. It's a tragic mid-air collision taking place between the PSA Airlines regional passenger jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near the Reagan Washington National Airport. This is also causing a lot of aviation disruptions. Search and rescue operations are continuing to looking for more survivors, and some survivors have been found. We'll wait for more official details to come in, Priyanka, but for now, this is a top update.
That's right, Shivangi. We're just taking you through a recap of what has happened. As you can see on your screens at the moment, that a commercial airliner collided with a military helicopter in the wee hours near Washington's Ronald Reagan National Airport. Now, these are the visuals that you can see. And the latest that we understand is that all takeoffs and landings have been halted as of now. In fact, some of the rescue boats have been able to spot some of the survivors. We do not have any specifics on the number of survivors at this point, neither any information or clarification on the casualties which possibly might be there. However, the latest that we understand is that the White House has confirmed that, yes, it was a military helicopter that did collide with the regional jet airliner, as we understand. Now, do note that the commercial airplane was carrying about 70 passengers. Shivangi, also help us understand, now there's been a sudden surge of mid-air collisions happening globally in the last couple of months as well. What are the details or measures that are being taken by the aviation authorities? Any updates as to why this collision happened? Was it a military drill of sorts that was happening?
That is right. You know, we have to wait for those details to come in, Priyanka, because we, of course, have seen multiple mid-air collisions at the beginning of this year in different parts of the world. And every collision, of course, has an investigation which is launched. And then we come across to the issue which had taken place. Now, like I was telling our viewers, there has been a response from the Vice President of the U.S., J.D. Vance. And if I just read it out once more, he's also saying that please say a prayer for everyone involved in the mid-air collision near the Reagan Airport this evening. We are monitoring the situation. That means the situation is being monitored. And this is the top story. By the way, this is a story that is the top story coming in from the United States. We also know that this happened during the dark. You can see it's completely dark there. It happened during the dark hours when this mid-air collision happened. The investigation is continuing. Now the focus is right now on finding those survivors, Priyanka, because rescue boats are looking for survivors. It happened over the Potomac River. It's a very important river there. It happened near the Potomac River, just over the Potomac River. So the rescue boats are looking for the survivors. Investigation is continuing. This is a live and a developing story, Priyanka. Of course, once those investigation continues, we know that we'll get more updates on this. Now, remember that this is emergency response teams are conducting search and rescue operations. Right now, the focus is on that. Perhaps in a short while from now, once we get those updates about any official confirmation on what really caused a mid-air collision, we'll get that for our viewers. Yes, Priyanka.
That's right, Shivangi. Thank you for those details coming in, as a regional airline collided mid-air with a military helicopter and has crash landed near Washington. Now, the rescue operations are underway, but we'll get you the details.